What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hustle Haven. We're your hosts, River the Realtor.
And Tiesha, Renee.
And y'all, it's season 2, and I'm feeling as good as ever. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling blessed.
Highly favored?
Highly favored.
Okay.
Can't complain. Thankful for life.
Wow, Sister Tiesha with a word today. Well, I'm really excited because I feel like this episode is something that this is for the ladies. I know we always doing something for the ladies, and I feel like we have to.
We're ladies, you guys. We can't.
We're girls.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
I
feel like we do a lot of stuff for the ladies. So this one is for the ladies. We're gonna think about something for the men, but today we're gonna talk about navigating like gender bias as entrepreneurs. As y'all both know, we are both beautiful, intelligent, strong Black women, Black queens.
Yes, ma'am.
And just being a woman in entrepreneurship, being a woman in business, I feel like there's a lot of things that we have to navigate often. So I kind of want to talk through that, talk about our experiences, some advice, and then, you know, if you are a woman watching this episode of Hustle Haven, kind of give you some tools and tricks to be able to navigate that as well. So let's hop into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay, I got to talk about this, y'all, because it's like one of my favorite comments, topics, everything. It's about pretty privilege, okay?
Oh, God. And that's a thing.
It's a thing.
Absolutely.
And like, okay, if you don't know what pretty privilege is, you've been under a rock. But pretty privilege is just this notion that like if you're pretty or you're aesthetically pleasing to the eye, you get some level of privilege.
You get more opportunities.
More opportunities. We do real estate, amongst other things, right? How do you feel about that in our industry especially?
Honestly, I feel like people do unfortunately work with people based off of like how they look.
Okay.
And it's a sad case, but it's kind of like they do it. And especially in sales.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's kind of like the more attractive you are, I feel like the easier it is for you to convince someone
to work with
you, to purchase a product. Like, I want to support you because you a baddie. Like I want to get your product now.
And it's like, I think it's like that whole thing of alignment, especially like you got the girls, you know, the Instagram girls, the girls who be like, I'm a baddie, you a baddie. Like, let's kind of link. Let's have some, that's what makes us like mutually connected. But it's like, okay, babe, there's a little bit more to that.
It's more than, they'd be like, what is it? It's more than what's on the outside. It's what's on the inside.
Especially in sales. Like we're talking about real estate, like the most expensive thing you'll ever purchase in your life. And I think this is the one thing I always say. I make this comment, especially when people talk about like women who get in position because of the men they're dating or because of the way that they look. I think pretty privilege is a real thing that can put you on, but it cannot keep you on. Okay.
Absolutely. Because once they be like, this girl don't know what she doing for real. But I also feel like pretty privilege is not just like, it's about how you like present yourself and how you carry yourself. Like if you are like, you got your hair done, you know, like you look put together. I feel like that can kind of go into you look good. Like, you know, you look like you know what you're doing. Yeah. And I want to work with you. Like I want to support you. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I feel like somebody might not think you're the most, you know, somebody might think, but you got yourself put together, so you baddie. You better right now.
And I feel like the thing about it is like, okay, to the point of like social media, right? We want to look good, want to look our best, like y'all.
In the world of filters.
In the world of filters, because I be used to, we love appearance.
Okay. We love in the world of a face app, it's getting crazy out here.
Look, don't even get me into that. But I think the bigger thing is like, yes, I feel like your aesthetic and things like that, that whole notion of pretty privilege will make people gravitate towards you. Like I said, it can't keep you in position. And so I feel like when people say like, oh, it's easy for women in business because y'all look good and y'all carry yourself. I just don't agree. Like, no matter how many times I comb my hair, if I don't know how to read a contract, I just literally can't do it. And I think that's the whole idea. And I feel like I hear it mostly from men.
Yeah, but I also feel like when you are pretty and they realize like, okay, intellectually, it may not all be there. They do give you more chances. Like, I feel like they give you more opportunities. Like, okay, you messed up. You probably messed up again. You probably messed up again. And they really, and they really, really don't want to get rid of you. But like, you so cute. I think
do you think that's a man thing? Do you think it's a man thing?
I think it's a man thing. I think they're going to get, like, if they are interested in you, if they, you know, they probably can't say if they like you. Like, they're going to give you more opportunities to mess up. But if they don't, like, your first mess up, you're probably out the door.
And see, I kind of have like an alternate view on that. I think pretty privilege is kind of like, it's a downfall. Because I feel like there's also like this pressure, right? You look a certain type of way. There's a certain stigma that comes with that. Everybody is kind of like looking towards you to just kind of be this it person, even if you're not in that space of your business. And I think it's a lot of added pressure. So to my original point of like pretty privilege might be a thing that can put you in position, you know, get more people to gravitate towards you. It can't really teach you how to do your job.
Exactly.
And so I think from there, like a big piece of advice I would give is like, don't rely on your looks unless you're like in a business of like, you know, the beauty industry or something like that where your looks is what you're selling or your looks is what's going to move you forward. Like, you cannot rely on just looks alone to think that that's going to help you get good in business. I hear so many people like, oh yeah, like I'm ready to do my folded arm picture, look good, get some real estate. Pictures, baby, that's not how we got these sales, and that's definitely not how we're continuously able to do them. So I just feel like a lot of women do step into business and kind of feel like, I'm gonna just rely on the fact that I'm pretty and like let that grow my business.
Never just rely on your looks. I respect women so much when I'm working with them, like they're beautiful and they start talking and speaking, and I can tell off the bat, you know exactly what you're talking about. Like, you have studied, you have done your research, like you are an expert in this field, and that gives me like so much more respect for someone. It's like you're not trying to get it easy. Like, yes, you've been blessed with this beauty and this pretty privilege, but you also put in the time, you put in the work, and you have the skills necessary to really get the job done.
And that's the part right there. And that's, I think, one of the things that kind of, again, no shade to the men. I feel like we just be beating y'all sometimes, but I do feel like when men see successful women, and no shade, but women who might even be a little bit more successful than them, they always lean into like, oh, well, you're a woman, like you have this privilege. And again, I think it's just so important to remember, like, yes, a woman can look good and she can hold herself in a certain light or standard, but it's like that is not what is keeping businesses moving forward. Like, if businesses will solely rely on looks,
it wouldn't be successful. It's going to fail. It's going to fail. It's going to fail. Regardless of how you look, it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter. So it can keep you on. It can't keep you on, but it can put you in position. I kind of want to pivot though. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about like being women in male-dominated industries, right? Like this whole, okay, you look good, that kind of thing. I feel like as a woman still in 2024, which is crazy, I still feel like we don't get that respect.
The level of respect, we can work 50%, 10 times harder than a man. You can do the bare minimum. But because you're a man, people are going to listen to you before they listen to me. Like, for example, I was at this community service event, right? And I was telling the people, like, this is what we need to do to organize this. Like, this is very unorganized. A man comes up and literally says the same thing. Then everybody's moving like, oh, that's a good idea. We need to do it. I'm like, I literally just said that 50 times. This girl, this other girl was there too. She was getting pissed off. She was like, a man says it and obviously it should be done. Like, I literally said the same thing. I don't know if when women speak, it's like, it goes in one ear and out the other. I don't know what it is, but in that moment, I was like, wow.
I think not to get too deep, but I'm going to be very, very honest. I think that there's a thin line for that. I think like as a woman, especially because as a Black woman too, right? There's this whole stigma of like, you don't ever want to be right. You don't ever want to be seen as like the angry Black woman. So I already have a very like, to know me is to know my personality is very like,
in your face.
It's very cut and dry. It's very demanding. Like we need to get the work done. And I think that I have like it's like a power struggle for me trying to like be assertive, but also be respected in a way that people are not like scared of me or trying to make it seem like I have this dictatorship. But I really do feel like as a woman, like it is so much harder for us to command a room, even if we're saying something that's worth $1 million, just because we're a woman.
And we're trying to avoid being an angry woman.
And I'm trying to avoid talking to everybody like I'm their mama. Like trying to avoid that whole thing. And it's like, it's a very difficult line for me. I feel like even, like you said, we could work extremely hard, do our job better, push the needle forward even further. And it's still not going to get the same level of respect or attentiveness as if a man comes and gives an idea of equal or even lesser value.
Exactly. I definitely think it goes to the past. Like, we're still dealing with things from the past of what women were doing in 19 whatever, before we were even thought about.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still that stigma of, unfortunately, a woman's place is to take care of. Like, we're responsible for taking care of things, but not leading things. You see how that goes? Like, oh, we can take care of the household, keep it clean, cook you a good meal. But when it comes to running a business, being the CEO, when it comes to sitting at a table full of men and even women, sometimes other women, two women, don't give them the level of respect that they give the next man. But like when it comes to leading in that manner, it's always like, okay, that's what she said, but let me ask him just to see clarify. If he agrees. Like, let me see if this is really what we should be doing. I just said that. I just said that.
So advice, like trying to talk through this space, like how do you feel like, well, what are some tips or tricks that you use to kind of navigate in those spaces, especially like in rooms where you feel like you're a prominent figure, but it's still male dominated?
I feel like you can't back down. I'm a corporate America girly, and I have been in quite a few meetings where men will kind of try to talk over you. Like when you're saying something, you just have to demand that space. However I come off is how I'm going to have to come off. But what we're going to do is we're going to respect Tiesha when Tiesha's talking. My thought process was not done.
What's the procedure when the procedure?
It's sad because it's like we don't want to come off as this like aggressive, angry type person. But unfortunately, if we want to be seen, that's my personal opinion. If you want to be seen and you want to be heard, you kind of have to give a little bit of like extra aggression. Like I'm talking 1 second, people, and just talk loud. I've been in meetings and people try to talk over me. And I just keep talking.
No, literally.
Somebody gonna stop talking.
Somebody's gonna be like,
somebody's gonna stop and let's see who else is talking. It won't be me. I'm still talking.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think understanding how to command a room. And again, it's a thin line, but understanding how to kind of toggle back and forth between like, okay, I need to have some respect. And also you guys kind of have to hear what I'm saying. I think for me, like I haven't been in corporate America in quite a while at this point. But I think I ran into that a lot. I think it came, again, not with just being a woman, but also being young, being a minority, all of those things. And I think that's kind of where I got like that, like my voice essentially. Like I really am who I am, y'all. I can't even make this up. Like even at home with my mom and my sisters, it's like, hey, everyone, come back. Channel in. Like I'm still, but in business and in the working world, I think it's a lot different. So I think it's understanding how to communicate. I think communication is a very big thing. And it's also setting those boundaries, but setting those boundaries out loud, right? To Tiesha's point, if Tiesha's talking and someone's trying to cut her off, she's quick to say, well, hold on 1 second. Let me finish what I'm talking about, and then we can revert back to what you're saying.
Exactly.
Like being able to stop people in their tracks. Because I think another thing we do as women sometimes, we just shy away.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking and someone's trying to overpower us, or if we have an idea.
You just kind of, you push yourself back. And I did that before. I'm like, oh my God, like let me just be quiet then, because obviously what you're saying is more important than what I'm saying. But also what I have found to be valuable is, and I keep saying this, you have to know what you're talking about.
For sure.
Like if you know that you're not getting the respect that you need to be doing all the research. We're going to have to take that extra time to like know that I 100% know what I'm talking about on this topic, and I'm going to educate you on this. And the more we continue to do that, the more we continue to put ourselves in these spaces and show our value. It's like the value has to be shown. We can't easily just walk up in there and it's just going to be, it is what it is, whether you're pretty, whatever it is. Like you have to, when you open your mouth, something valuable has to come out, and it has to be legit. Don't be just talking in circles, because I know when somebody's talking in circles.
And the crazy thing is, that's the part right there, because they will go the extra mile to pick apart. Okay, you wanted our attention so bad, let me hear what you have to say.
Okay.
And let anything that come out your mouth be subpar.
Be wrong.
They're gonna, actually, I beg to differ, Miss Girl. I feel like that's the thing. It's like once you get to that space of command and respect, then it's also like making sure again that you know what you're talking about, because that's your moment to like really be put on the chopping block. They're waiting for you to mess up just so they can demean women more, I feel like. And again, this is not like a men bashing thing, because I feel like women, to your point, do it as well. I think we just have to like understand the new landscape when it comes to entrepreneur and business, and understand that women are some of the most powerful people that are in the world right now. Like when you look around of positions of powers, people who are running businesses, people who are just, really spending them dollars, it's a lot of women. And so I think us as women, it kind of starts with us being able to say like, uplift somebody else who's a woman, and just say, hey, respect her when she's speaking, and kind of like show up for each other on the front line. Because I feel like especially in business, it's just 10 times worse.
Yeah, I love that. As far as like women supporting women, that's a great start.
Come on, we in the era of the girls.
Yeah, but I also feel like we still have a long way to go. Yeah, I feel like there's a long way of men of, and I hate to get political, but I'm gonna get political for a little second, because I got to talk about the election.
Let's
and how
let's get into the smoke.
Kamala and Trump. Kamala is more than qualified. She's worked on all 3 branches of the government.
Okay, period.
She has all of these degrees, and she's very elegant. She's very, versus a man who continuously disrespects women, disrespects different races, disrespects his own family, is a convicted felon. And when you looked at who voted for who, 98% of black women voted. Yeah. Boom, let's stand together, y'all. But then men, the numbers were so low.
And here's the one thing I can't say about this. When it comes to everyone's political decisions, if you have a real basis for why you vote the way you vote, fine. Like, I'm not into arguing with people about that. What I don't like is that there was a true subset of men who were like, a woman cannot
lead. Yeah,
a woman cannot be in a leadership role. Women are too emotional. Women are not stable enough. I saw too many posts like that. I saw so many people. Oh my God. Questioning the stability, the mental capacity, and just the overall ability of not just specifically Kamala, but like a woman
in general
to be in that position. And that kills me because it's like a lot of men were raised by single mothers.
You don't respect your mother.
Hello.
Where's your mother? Put her on the line.
Hello,
I have something to say.
I need to talk to you.
I have something to say.
And so I think all in all, when it comes to like, again, being a woman in business, I think you have to command that space. You have to command your respect because if you don't, they'll never just hand it to you freely.
We have to work 10 times harder to get 50% of the respect that they get. And 50% of the pay that they get. Oh, this is really, guys, this is pissing me off.
This is pissing her off. Okay, take a little stop.
This is pissing me off.
Okay, let's pivot just a little bit. We talked a little bit about like kind of from the working standpoint, but how do you feel like, you know, we do sales, we work with people on a client basis. How do you feel like it is like working with like, you know, just
male counterparts?
Yeah, just male counterparts.
I kind of feel like you have to be cautious. Yeah. Because I feel like when women and men are working together, it could become a slippery slope. Okay. Especially because you don't know their past relationships, how they've worked with other women and how other women have worked with them. And then usually when you work with one person, you kind of skew that opinion or this is how it's going to be working with every woman type of thing. So I feel like when you're working with men, I try to be you have to be a little bit more conscious in how you dress and what you say and all these things because you don't want to give off no type of way of flirting. Yeah. Because I promise you, it's always feeling like I'm flirting, but I'm just nice.
She is really like a country southern charm
I'm just nice. And people be like, why are you flirting? I am not flirting. I have zero interest
in talking to you,
in discussing anything beyond what house do you want. Yeah, like I'm not flirting at all. But it's just like you have to be so cautious of like how you speak and how you act and how you dress.
Yeah, I think it's to your point, it's a very slippery slope. Yeah. It's unfortunate because, again, I'm very much me. Like, people who know me in real estate and outside of real estate always say the same thing. I am the exact same way all across the board. And so I do feel like having to kind of change my demeanor or change the way that I speak or act because of who's in the room is something that always just kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. And I'm almost to the point where it's like, if the way that I act in any capacity makes you look or feel or judge the scenario for something that is not, then maybe this is not a mutually beneficial relationship or this is not a mutually beneficial partnership because I should never have to dumb down or fit myself into a certain box to fit into an ideal.
To make you comfortable or to make it or to reassure you.
Or to fit into an ideal of me that you created. Like no one told you that's who I was, but you can easily find out who said that. And I think that's a really big thing. I think the other thing when it comes to like working with, I'm gonna kind of bring back the pretty privilege thing. I think men work with women sometimes because I feel like men got pretty privilege too.
They do.
I really do. I think a man who
handsome
thinks we're gonna call it handsome privilege. I think a man who, I'm gonna say finds himself handsome, right? I think that he's more inclined to work with a woman because I think that he can get his way or he believes that he can have his way better with a woman who also finds him attractive than another man. And that is something that really just kills me, especially in the business that we're in. I have had men who want to work with me and then also come in and tell me how to do my job. You would never be talking to your male realtor. If you couldn't do it,
you didn't need me.
Yeah, if you could do this on your own, you don't need me. But I think if they like express that to another man will check them and it's like a pride thing.
Oh.
But then they feel like as a woman, like I can come in, I can come in, get your help, use your resources, but also control the situation.
And stroke your ego. Oh, I never looked at it from that perspective from a man. Yeah. I actually feel like men support men more than they support, more than women support women. Like men will work with you because you are a man. And like a black man in the real estate industry, there's not a lot of them. Yeah, so I feel like when other men find a black male realtor, like, you know what, I want to work with him because he's another black male.
Yeah, but I feel like, okay, listen, y'all. Tea, smoke, whatever. I feel like it take a certain type of man though to step into that kind of space because again, I feel like men really do support men unless they really just feel like they have to be in control. Right. Because if a man feel like he has to be in control, he's going to easily contact the woman, right? Again, I could use your expertise, I could use your resources, but I can also be in control of this entire situation because I'm a man, I'm still going to lead in some capacity. Yeah, that's true. Another man who is, mentally stable and strong-minded enough to say, you know what, I want to support someone that looks like me, somebody who I have mutual respect for. In that regard, I do feel like that. Yeah. Y'all love each other. Like that bromance, that bro
y'all love us?
That's real.
Why we can't get the love? For real. Ladies, let's support each other.
I'm getting mad now.
This pissing us off? This is pissing us off. I think in all be all is, I think you have to just first acknowledge that there is a bias.
Yeah, and that there's
like
a
I
gap.
think a lot of times when we try to say what we're saying right now is combated with you're in your head. Who said that?
They get tense. Like, what? Why would
nobody's
you say that?
looking at the difference of, but it is like it's an everyday thing that women have to go through. And again, being a Black woman, that's even more because I have learned that from America, y'all hate Black women. Y'all hate Black women. That's just the end all be all.
Hate that.
And I'm sorry, but I don't take it back. I feel
Period.
I feel.
This is what this platform is about. It's about being honest. And I think in that regard, as women, I want to kind of like close everything out with just kind of giving like honest advice and honest, you know, tips that we can say is going to help you guys navigate as women. I think my biggest thing, again, is one, setting your boundaries, but setting them out loud, right? It's one thing to say that, oh, I'm not going to tolerate this or I'm not going to do this. But if you don't let that be known, no one is going to be able to respect the boundary that they're not aware of. So as a woman, especially a successful woman in this business, I feel like I command certain things. I command certain levels of respect. And if you're not willing to abide by those rules, you're going to have to see me later. Or you're going to actually have to see me never. And that's just something that I have set forth in my business because I'm from Chicago, baby. I need a certain level of respect that if you're not trying to give, the door is right there. And so as a woman, no matter what business you're in, and I think this is with men, I think this is with women, your boundaries need to be explicitly and openly stated so that everybody who comes into your business, comes into your space, understands how to treat you, how you expect to be treated, and vice versa, what they can expect from you as a business owner and business professional. So,
oh, I love that.
Yeah, period.
Put it in a book. Mine would be, ladies, we just have to go hard. Ooh. We have to walk in every room with our head held high, shoulders up, looking our best, and showing everyone around us, men, other women, whatever it looks like, that we are the expert at what we're doing.
Period.
Like, this is my business as an entrepreneur. I'm doing nails, I'm doing lashes, whatever you're doing, this is my business that I take pride in, that I'm an expert in. Like, if you have a question about this, I got the answer for you. Like, we have to give that 10. I know it's like, it sucks that we have to be 10 times better to get the same amount of respect, but let's do it. Let's just do it. Like, just do it. Just walk in, be confident, and show that I'm the boss and nothing you say or nothing you can do is going to stop me. And I think that's just what's going to help us, you know, thrive forward.
Lead the charge. I feel like it starts with us.
It starts with us.
And if
100%.
we keep going hard, I feel like we're going to pave the way to make it so that there's at least, I don't think it'll ever be equal, but I think there'll be some understanding
unfortunately,
on the equality piece of men and women in business.
In business and supporting each other's businesses.
Period. High five, sister.
High five. That conversation pissed me off.
I know. I can see it in your face. I'm like, dang, I'm going to hug her off camera, y'all. But thank you so much, you guys, as usual, for checking in with us, tuning into Hustle Haven. We hope you guys got some great gems from this. Ladies, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what y'all are doing to command your space. What we going to do to boss up, how we going to keep this hustle going together. So thank y'all again for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and share with your boss friends, your homegirls, your women, and
share with the men, too.
Yeah, share with them, too, because they need to understand where we coming from. So as usual, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and we will see you next time on Hustle Haven.
Bye.
Bye.